everyone. Welcome you all for the second lecture of DNA replication. In the previous lecture, we had learned about the deoxyribose nucleic acid, sugar phosphate backbone, nitrogenous bases that is purines and pyrimidines, the chemical orientation of DNA that one strand runs in 5' to 3' direction and the other strand runs in 3' to 5' direction. That is anti-parallel fashion. We have also learned complementary base pairing that adenine always pairs with thymine and between them two hydrogen bonds are present. And also we have observed that cytosine always pairs with guanine and between them three hydrogen bonds are present. We have also learned the difference between the deoxyribose and the ribose sugar. So in today's lecture, we are going to first see the central dogma, and then we are going to see the three replication models, and lastly we are going to see the Messelson and Stahl experiment. So moving towards our first point, that is the central dogma. Now first of all, what is meant by central dogma? You can see over here DNA to RNA and RNA to protein. The double-stranded DNA, that is deoxyribose nucleic acid, determines some of the genes, or we can say the genes are present on the double-stranded DNA, and these genes are important to make or synthesize some of the protein. Proteins are the building blocks of cell. Whole body is required some of the protein. For example, hair contains keratin protein, nails contain keratin protein, and various proteins are present. And these proteins are made up of amino acid. So, in the central dogma, the double-stranded DNA contains some of the genes. The genes are transcribed and converted to a single-stranded RNA by the process known as a transcription, and the protein is synthesized by the mechanism known as a translation with the help of ribosome. One more mechanism is also present, that from the single-stranded RNA we can get double-stranded DNA. The process is known as reverse transcription. So in the central dogma, DNA to RNA transcription process is present and RNA to protein translation process is present, which we are going to see in the further lectures at the time of transcription and translation. But RNA to double-stranded DNA, the process will be known as a reverse transcription. But one more mechanism that we are going to see is the replication. When the cell will divide, at that time DNA is necessary to go in the another cell. So this whole DNA is being replicated and another copy is synthesized. This copy of DNA will be entered into a new dividing cell. So these are the three processes: replication, DNA to DNA, DNA to RNA is transcription, and RNA to protein is translation. So this is the central dogma. Now DNA replication. The regulation of DNA replication is fundamental to understanding the continuity of life. As always, cells multiply and give rise to new cells, so genome must be accurately duplicated so that information is passed to each new generation. The duplication or synthesis of DNA is called as replication. Now next, semi-conservative model. In the semi-conservative model, what happens? The parental strand, they both unwind and separate, and each makes a copy of itself. Okay, so in this you can see over here, this is a parental strand. At the time of replication, these two strands will be separate, and after separating, this will work as a template strand, and opposite to this template strand, the complementary strand will be synthesized. That will be a new one. So in the semi-conservative, semi means half and conservative means it will be not changed from time to time. Okay, this will be conserved and no any mutations or no any changes will be observed in this. So semi means half and conserve is it will be not changed. Okay, so when the parental strands will be separate, the parental strand will be already present. Only a new strand or a complementary strand will be synthesized. Now, at the time of the second replication purpose, what happened? These two parental strands will again separate and the complementary will also work as a parental strand. Now, this molecule will be known as a parental strand, and when they will separate or unwind, again they will work as a template strand and new complementary strand will be synthesized. So, semi-conservative means what? 50% old and 50% will be the new one. So it will be known as a semi-conservative. Next model is conservative model. Conservative means what? Same, it will be not change from time to time, it will be as it is. But in the conservative model, what happens? The parental molecule direct synthesize an entirely new double-stranded molecule. So you can see over here, this is the pink color one, a parental strand. At the time of replication or after the first replication cycle, what happens? These both strands are as it is, but the new complementary strands or whole DNA molecule is being synthesized. Again, at the time of second replication cycle, what happens? This will be again same, but whole new DNA molecule will be synthesized. Here also you can see over here. Okay, but in the semi-conservative, what happens? This both strand will be separated, and again it will be work as a parental strand or template strand, and a new complementary strand will be synthesized. So this is the difference between semi-conservative and conservative. Now next third model which was proposed is the dispersive model. Dispersive means what? Hybrid we can say. You can read over here. In the dispersive model, material in the two parental strand is distributed more or less randomly between two daughter molecules. In the model shown here, old material is distributed symmetrically between the two daughter molecules. Other distributions are possible. Okay. So you can see over here in this picture, parental is present, but after the replication you can see the sum of the fragments are present of parental as well as new one. Parental, new one. Parental and new one. Okay, so in the dispersive model, hybrid we can say parental plus new one will be divided, okay, symmetrically, distributed symmetrically. So these three models were proposed related to the DNA replication. But from these three replication models, only one is universally selected, or the DNA of all the organisms are replicated only by one model, that is the semi-conservative model. To prove this, the DNA always replicate by semi-conservative or in the semi-conservative manner. The researcher Messelson and Stahl done an experiment. What they have done? They took a unicellular bacteria that will be the E. coli. E. coli bacteria they have took, and what they have done? First, they took a heavy nitrogen that will be the N15. You can see over here N15. They took a media in which heavy nitrogen was available. So when E. coli was cultured on the heavy nitrogen, when the DNA started replicating or the E. coli bacteria started dividing, while replication purpose, what happened? The heavy nitrogen was the only source for synthesizing the nucleotide. So what happens? After many generations, for many generation N15 was provided. So all the E. coli DNA was having N15. So you can see over here the red color one is representing the N15 DNA. So all the E. coli bacteria DNA molecules were labeled with the N15, that will be the heavy nitrogen. But Messelson and Stahl what done? After many generations, they switched the E. coli on the light nitrogen medium. Light nitrogen, that will be the N14. So N14 will be the light nitrogen. After many generations, N15 to bacteria was switched to N14. That what happened now? N14 was the only source, that was the light nitrogen. Then what happened? At the time of dividing, at the replication, the E. coli started taking the N14 amino group. Okay, so what happens? The DNA which was replicating were all labeled with the N14. For many generations now N14 was provided. So you can see over here in the generation 0 only N15 was present. But in the generation 1, while the replication, two strands will be unwind, N14 was provided, so light nitrogen. Now again this will be in the generation 2, again they will be separated. You can see over here N15 is present, N14. Now this will come over here N14, the new synthesized strand will be the N14. Here also you can see over same. Okay, so many generations same N14 was provided, and by this things, by one mechanism, that is the density gradient centrifugation, by using cesium chloride, they prove that DNA replication is by semi-conservative model. You can see over in the generation 0, by the density gradient medium, In the generation 0, 100% N15, that is the heavy nitrogen, was provided. So the band was at the bottom side. But in the generation 1, this is the hybrid because N15 is present and N14 is present. Here also N15 plus N14. So band was in between the N14 and N15. Here you can see. Okay, in the generation 1. So medium or intermediate strand was there. Now in generation 2, now here also what happens, N14 and N15 is N15 and N14 is present. Here also N14, 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 N14 and N15. So here you can see in the generation 2 what happens, 50% N15 and 50% N14 was there. In generation 3, now 75% N14 because only N14 was the only source and 25% N15. And in generation 4, 88% N14 was there and 12% was N15. So by this mechanism, what they proved, that DNA will always replicate in a semi-conservative way. So this was one of the experiment by which Messelstern and Stahl proved that DNA of all the organism replicate only in one manner, that was the semi-conservative. Semi means half conserved, 50% old and 50% new strand. I think I have cleared you this experiment. So now in the next lecture we are going to see the enzymes and the proteins which are required for the DNA replication. Thank you.